Good day everyone. My name is Jonathan Bueno from Peer Tutors Society, and I'm here to talk about classes and objects. So, before we start, I just want to tackle very briefly what an object is and why is it relevant to object-oriented programming, in this case in Java. Well, an object, just like any object in real life, it has like attributes, it has actions that you can do to it. For example, this pen that I have right now, you can write with it, you can, you can spin it like this. So those are actions that you can do to it. It also has attributes. For example, the brand of this pen is, I don't know if you can see it, but Phytopolis. I don't know if that's actually a brand or a company name, but my point is, any object in the real world, just like in the programming world, has attributes. So what I'm going to be demoing right now is how to create classes and how to create methods. Right now I have a class called water bottle, and basically it tries to imitate a water bottle in real life. So what do I mean by that? We said earlier that objects in real life have attributes. So our attributes are, this water bottle has a brand represented as a string, a capacity, meaning the maximum volume of water that it can hold, represented as an integer. I think I'll make this like in ml. And then water held in ml. Okay, so now we have the attributes of a water bottle, and let's skip this part for now because it's more intuitive if we discuss the other methods before we start. So these are the methods. You can refer to this also as the actions that we will be doing to a water bottle. So for example, we're going to drink the water bottle, we're going to refill the water bottle. Of course, there's going to be so many more actions that you can do to a water bottle. You can like sell it, you can buy it, for example, but for this demo, we're just going to be drinking and refilling the contents of a water bottle. So when you're going to be drinking, it's going to ask for the lack of a better term, drank amount of water, and then that drank amount of water will be minus or subtracted to the amount of water that it is holding right now. And then if you're going to be refilling, the number of water held that the water is holding right now will be filled to capacity. So that's what this code or block of code is about. And then very standard for object-oriented programming is to have getters and setters. So getters, basically what they do is they get, for example, the brand of the water bottle, they get the capacity of the water bottle, or the water held within the water bottle. So later on, we're going to be demoing how these work. And then we also have setters, set brand, set capacity, and set water held. So as the name suggests, they set, if you're going to be changing the brand of the water bottle, you can just specify it here, and the parameter of the function, and then of the method actually, and then it will be changed. That applies to all other attributes as well. If you're going to be changing the capacity for some reason, the water bottle changed in size, so the capacity is now, for example, bigger, then you can change it using this method, as well as the water held. Okay, so now that we have our object and the actions and the attributes that it has, how do we use this? So when using an object, you first have to initialize an instance of an object. So how do we do that? We do that using this constructor method. A constructor method allows for an initialization of an object. So what does that mean? If you want to make a water bottle, because right now we have a class that basically serves as a blueprint of a water bottle. We don't really have a water bottle with us right now. We just have a blueprint of a water bottle. But if we were to make a water bottle, we of course need to specify the brand. What brand are there? Wilkins? Is that the right brand? This is just an example, but for example, Wilkins, and then the capacity 100, water held 100. You can specify that there, and then this block of code basically assigns the values that you put here in these parameters to the water bottle. So how does that work? Now that we have a class water bottle, let's move on to the main class, which is in our main.java. So very standard, we have the class main, and then we have the public static void. So this is how you initialize a water bottle, this specific syntax. So you have the water bottle class. It should be the same name as the one specified here, because I personally look at this as the data type of the object. So this my bottle, the variable name basically of the object, it has the data type of a water bottle. So right now the my bottle variable is a water bottle, just like, for example, a capacity variable is an integer. This my bottle is a water bottle. And then this is pretty standard. So this very specific syntax is how you initialize a object in Java. So we have the new keyword and then water bottle, followed by a series of parameters. Take note that this mirrors that of the constructor. So whatever you put here in the constructor, especially in the parameter name or parameter list, it should be present here as well. So we have the string brand name. In this case, I went with Aqua Flask. This is the string brand. And then the capacity, I went with 100, so 100 ml. I don't know if Aqua Flask has that model, but for demo purposes, let's stick with that. And then the water held 100. So right now it's full. And then let's try printing it, no? A few things to note before we run this code. Notice that we're going to be printing this string, so basically just to make it more intuitive, I added a few labels. So this is the brand, this is the capacity, and the water health. But this block of code, this is how you do actions to a object. So right now, this my bottle will be getting the brand of the my bottle. Okay, just as how we'll be getting the capacity of the my bottle and the water health of the my bottle. Take note that these are all the getters that we were talking about earlier, and then getters, they return the values of the attributes that the object has right now. So since we didn't really do any action to the object right now, so the initialization of the object should remain. So let's try running it. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, let's try to make it bigger if we can. I hope you can see that, but it says the brand is Aqua Flask, the capacity is 100, and the water health is also 100. Again, we didn't really do any actions to the water bottle so that it will change, but let's try changing it at this point. So what I just did is I uncommented a few code, namely, or more specifically, this part of the code. So this code drinks from my bottle, and then it drinks exactly 50 milliliters from the bottle. So intuitively, if you drank 50 milliliters from the bottle, you should be left with 50 milliliters, right? Since the initialization that we have is 100, so 100 minus 50 is 50. So let's try running there. So at this part, we drank 50 milliliters from the bottle. So from 100, it's now holding only 50 milliliters. So let's try drinking more. For example, you just ran a quarter mile, and then you drank 50, and then you're not really satisfied with 50 milliliters only, so you're going to be drinking 20 milliliters. Let's try running that. And just like how it was earlier, if you drink 20 milliliters from a 50 milliliter liquid, it should minus 20. And then I added one other drink action just so that we can see a very specific case. So recall that we only have 50 minus 30. Let's make this 40 actually. So recall that at this point we only have 30 water left in the bottle. What if we drank 40 milliliters? So that means that it should result in a negative number, right? We can see that it does not result to a negative number because intuitively in real life you don't really have a negative 10 milliliters from a water bottle. So I made it such that the water held inside of a water bottle will never be lower than 0 because that wouldn't really make sense in real life. So I just did that so that you can see it's here, this line of code. You can be very, very specific on how an action is executed in an object. So this line of code basically says that the water held should never be lower than 0. If it does, then just assign it to 0. There. And then since we have 0 water left in our water bottle, let's try to refill it. Forgot to mention that this particular code is the one that refills the bottle. So let's run that. After refilling, the water held is now 100. That's because the capacity is 100, so if you refill a water bottle it should be less than or equal to 100, but in this case I just made it such that it refills the whole way. So this is a closer look to the refill method. And then that's basically it for our demo of classes and objects. Again, this is very basic. This just gives someone a brief overview and a very basic look into how objects and classes function in Java and in object-oriented programming. So thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Jonathan Bueno from Peer Tutors Society, and I hope you have a great day.